Hi everybody, welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL. I've been tagged, so here's my video on 10 niche fragrances to keep for life. Let's play tag. I've been tagged to do this video by a good friend of mine, Joe, from the channel Joe Sent Me. I love his channel. He has some wonderful content. He's often talking about some weird and wonderful fragrance house that I've never even heard of, so really enjoy Joe Sent Me. If you haven't checked out his channel, please do so. I'll leave a link in the description down below. I'm here in the beautiful museum gardens in the heart of the city of York. It's early in the morning. I've tried to get here early before lots of tourists come and start walking around these grounds. You might still see a few in the background. It's a gorgeous sunny spring morning. I've got my coffee and I feel very privileged to be able to sit here in such an amazing place and do this video for you. I've wanted to film here for a little while and I thought this video on my niche fragrances was a good opportunity to come down and film in the museum gardens. Just two quick honourable mentions before we get into the list of 10. Two of my favourite niche scents are Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather and Xerjoff Naxos. I don't own bottles of those. I do own clones, so I just want to quickly mention those. I've got Bitter Soft from Alexandria Fragrances and I've got Fortune from Dua Fragrances. These are both amazing interpretations of the originals. I can't tell a difference between this and Naxos or this and Tom Ford's Tuscan Leather. Beautiful scents. I don't have the bottles, so I didn't want to include them in the main list, but I just wanted to mention these two fantastic interpretations. All right, let's get into the list. This list is in no particular order until we get to number one. So the number one fragrance is actually my number one fragrance of all time, of niche or designer. So when we get there, all will be revealed. Let's kick things off with a bit of summer in a bottle. It's the first of the Tom Ford private blends. I have two in this list. This one is the gorgeous Neroli Portofino. So we get lovely bright citruses and Neroli in this. It's quite a light scent, perfect to wear on a hot summer's day, a perfect holiday scent. It gets questioned on its performance a little bit. It doesn't last particularly long. I maybe get in 30-40 minutes of decent projection and then it'll remain on my skin for around about 4 to 5 hours. But I love this scent so much that I don't mind carrying a decan and having a respray of this. It's quite a light scent. If it was made much stronger, then it may change the scent DNA slightly and you may lose that classical scent of Neroli Portofino. I know there's Neroli Portofino Forte, which you could try if you're worried about performance of this. I do think that loses the characteristic of the scent slightly. Still really nice, but it could be an option for you to look at. Next up on my list is the first of 3 tobaccos. This one will be great in the fall and winter, although I do enjoy wearing this one year round. We've got some tobacco and honey, iris, rose, incense, sandalwood, amber, musks. So it's quite a complex fragrance, but gorgeously smooth. This is Serge Lutens Chergui. This is beautiful. It's classy, it's elegant, it's refined. It would work amazingly well as a formal occasion scent, but you could easily wear this through the day, so fairly versatile as well. Serge Lutens Chergui. Next up is from the house of Amouage. This actually came number one on my spring top 10 list. It's a gorgeous masculine white floral fragrance and it is Reflection Man. This one is along similar lines to Jean-Paul Gaultier La Malle, but in my opinion it's nicer, it's more refined, it's more elegant than that. It's not quite as loud as La Malle. But if you're wondering what this smells like, then that gives you just some idea. It's versatile. You can wear this whenever you like, any time of the year. I love wearing this scent. I get decent performance off this. It's one of my favourite all-time scents. If you haven't tried Reflection Man, give it a sample. Next is one from Imaginary Authors and it's my favourite from the house. This is a lovely woodsy vanilla, almost like a salted vanilla. It's Memoirs of a Trespasser. This is such a beautiful fragrance. It's got resinous depth and the sweetness of the vanilla to balance it out perfectly. Works really well as, again, a fall winter scent because of the depth of those woods, but you could easily wear this in summer. I bought my mum the Imaginary Authors short story collection for Christmas, which gives you a choice of 8 fragrances from Imaginary Authors. So a great way to sample their line and see which ones you like. I got that from my mum and her favourite was Memoirs of a Trespasser. So she's been wearing this a lot. She's actually used up the sample, so I've given her a decant out of this bottle, which is why there's a little bit of a dent in there. So I've got used to smelling this on my mum recently, and because of that there's a really nice scent memory of my mum attached to this fragrance. So it's got a bit of a special place in my heart. She didn't know about imaginary authors until I introduced them to her. She now really loves them. Memoirs of a Trespasser is fantastic fragrance. This one is my second from the Tom Ford Private Blend collection. It's the second tobacco in this list. This is quite a strong, potent fragrance. I would definitely recommend sampling this before you try it, because it's one of those scents that could be quite divisive because it is quite a strong smell. Tom Ford's Tobacco Oud. It's got a lovely dark tobacco in this. The tobacco and the oud just really help it to just punch off the skin and really pierce the air. This is a confident scent. I think you've got to be confident to wear this one and pull it off. But when you are wearing this one, if you've got the confidence to do it, it does just give you that extra bit of confidence. It's quite a bold fragrance, it makes a statement. So if you can enjoy wearing this, I think people around you would really appreciate the fact that you've been bold enough to make a strong choice in your scent. This one also has a lovely boozy whiskey accord. Despite the notes of the tobacco and the oud, it's still got a nice smoothness to this fragrance. It's not skanky at all. Again, this is one that would work really well in colder months, but you know what? I wore this a few days ago on a really hot day and it rocked. Oops. Now we have one from the house of Acqua di Parma. I love the original Colonia from 1916, gorgeous, classic gentleman scent. This one takes that scent DNA and just modernizes it a little bit. This is Colonia Essenza. This one is quite a complex fragrance. You've got bright citruses in the top. You've also got a woodsy depth to it as well, so really versatile. Because of those citruses, it works great in warmer weather, and because of the woods, it works well in cooler weather. So you could wear this really all year round. So it takes what is so great about the original Acqua di Parma Colonia, and it also boosts and amps up the performance as well. So you'll get a better longevity with this one, or certainly I do, than the original. And this one I think is my favourite from the Acqua di Parma line. Next we have one from the house of Zoologist. I love Zoologist. They produce some of the most interesting and sometimes quite daring scents out there. This is my favourite from the Zoologist lineup. I've tried most of them. I haven't tried Moth yet, but I did get the sample set. This one I have a full bottle of because currently it's my favourite from Zoologist, and it is Camel. So this is quite a strong, potent scent, but in my opinion it's still easy to wear. It's got a lovely smoothness to it, loads of complexity. There's incense in there, and it's got this lovely dried fruit accord, particularly dates. It's got fantastic depth, great performance. This reminds me of walking around the spice markets in Dubai. It's intoxicating, it's unique, and it's delicious. Now I'm going to talk to you about one from the house of Nasomatto. I love this one as much as I love Pardon. I love them equally as much. I don't have a bottle of Pardon. I do have a bottle of this one. This is smooth. This is one of the smoothest boozy fragrances I've ever smelled, and it is Baraonda. The boozy whiskey accord is just gorgeous, and it has a beautiful sweetness to it as well. It has plenty of depth, has some musk ambret in there, which is actually a vegetal substitute for animal musk and is sometimes used to flavour tobacco. And I do get a little bit of that, maybe a little bit of a tobacco hint in there as well, which also is another reason why I love this one so much. So with the musk and the woods in there, it's got plenty of depth and smoothness. It's classy, it's elegant, it's luxurious, and did I mention smooth? If you were thinking I was going to be predictable and include Aventus on this niche list, you'd be right. This list is 10 niche fragrances to keep for life and throw all the others away. This is definitely one I would want to have to keep for life. I love the scent of Aventus. It just works so well in all situations. Anyone who smells this, anyone I give a sample of this to and hasn't smelled it before, will instantly smell it and just be wowed by it. Not really too much more to say about this other than it's an absolute classic. I love it, and just yes. Here we are at my number one. So this far, it's been in no particular order, but this actually is my favourite scent of all time. I'm not saying it's the best in the world, I'm just saying out of all the fragrances I've smelled, this is one that I enjoy the most. It is Roja Parfums Enigma. Now, I didn't just want to present my number one niche fragrance in the form of a decant, so let's present it in the form of a bottle. I'm very, very pleased to now have this in my collection. I've wanted a bottle of this for a long time. I'm now fortunate enough to have it. And this is just gorgeous, boozy tobacco. So we've got a lovely, smooth, sweet, rich, deep cognac, lovely tobacco in there, and ginger. And this is just a complex scent. It's a great performer for me. This one evokes the image of sitting in an old library, drinking a glass of cognac, surrounded by that kind of musty smell you get from old books. When I say musty smell, I mean in a really good, comforting way. Sometimes I'll walk into an old bookshop or into a library, and that smell is just hundreds of years of literature around you, and yeah, I find something really comforting in that. So that's just my take on it anyway. You might not get that from this, but that's one of the reasons I enjoy this. In fact, York Library is just a few yards over that way, so you know what, I've not put my scent of the day on yet. I'm going to make it Enigma, my number one. Oh, it's just a pleasing, gorgeous, complex masterpiece. So maybe after this video, I'll go over to the library, surround myself with that musty smell of old books whilst wearing Enigma. This is an absolute must try. So there's my list. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of my choices in the comments down below. Also, let me know what your choices of top 10 niche fragrances to keep for life would be. This is a tag video, so I do need to tag somebody else. I'm going to tag a good friend of mine, Chris, who has the channel Mr. Sillage. If you haven't checked out his channel, he's got some fantastic knowledge. He's got a great collection. He talks beautifully about the fragrances and gives some really good and honest and fair reviews, and he often has some awesome humour in his videos. I love Chris's channel. If you haven't checked out Mr. Sillage, I will leave a link to that in the description down below. Head on over there and see what he's all about. So, Mr. Sillage, show us your niche. Okay, that's it from... Oh, phone's ringing. It's a bit inconvenient. Oh. Hi, Jeremy. No, I'm doing a video. My niche one. I've told you before, I'm not going to tag you. No, I don't tag anyone with more than 370,000 subscribers. I know you need the exposure, but no, okay? Look, we'll talk about it later. Yeah. All right. Power. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, that's enough from me. Please like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell to enable notifications. And until next time, keep tuning into FM and keep smelling good.